Come on, honey, it's time for school.
But Mum, I don't feel well.
Oh, honey, you feel like you have a fever. Let me check your pupils. Oh, I know what fever this is.
Directly under the post, loom for him at dummy half. On to Marcus Marsh. Gives the ball out to Hasselman. Hasselman's got plenty of room to move to Schmoodle. Goes the line, he's over!
Good footy, boys.
They had the numbers, Aberdeen. They had the score, but Schmoodle in a good dry part of the field showed great strength. And Timmy Bridget, dummy half. Long pass out the back to Jake Watts. Into Topless. Topless has found room to move. He's under the posts. Scone lead. 8-6.
Great job at Thomas again. A little change in direction again. We talked about it early. A little step off the right, then the left, and straight under the pace.
Yeah, just a change of direction and pace.
The defence came up hard, Bomber, and gave Hayden Topless.
Welcome to another edition of the Bengalla Footy Fever on the couch. Joined here by a few of the Muppets. It is take two to start the show.
It is, Reggie. You screwed the first one up, but anyway, we'll have the bloopers session at the end of the year.
Can you imagine it?
We'll have a bloopers session at the end of the year.
Yeah, can you imagine it? It's
You'll get all my swearing off camera.
Live TV. He does a fair bit too, mind you. He doesn't mind dropping a few of the F-bombs, do you?
I don't swear at all.
No. How's the week?
Good. It's been great so far, and we are joined by two very special guests today. My mate here, Bailey Ellis, who commentated. He's commentated on a couple of games now, Bay.
Yep.
Nice beanie too, by the way.
Yep.
And what is it with young blokes with thongs?
I don't know.
It's -2 outside and blokes turn up in thongs.
Well, usually you remember Ryan Holman sat there and stole the heater.
He took all the heater for himself.
Well, I can't tie my shoelaces, Ben.
That's a good point. And our second special guest is Jackson Ball. Well done, Jacko, and welcome.
No, thanks for the invite, fellas.
No, mate, anytime. Like I said to you, it's great to see you out and about anyway, and getting that opportunity to you've had a fair bit on this week with physio, the Chronicle.
Yeah. That was a bit of a surprise visit from him. Yeah, he messaged me only last night asking if he could come around for a bit of a chat. So
yeah, no, they do a good job.
Well, two things, Jacko. First of all, how was your thoughts after the thing from last week from Kieran Foran?
Yeah, it was a massive surprise. I'd like to thank Steve for organising that and Liam Foran for getting it off his brother. But it's something that I'm going to use to keep motivating myself to get through this injury and all the rehab that's going to take forward. They reckon about 10 weeks to 6 months, 12 months. So they've got a pretty big picture there. So
good. Well, that was you've touched on. That was my second question. How's everything travelling, mate?
Yeah, well, originally it was only 6 weeks. That's what they said at Sydney, but since coming home, everything slowed down. So I put the feeling and the sensation 10 weeks now, and then 6 months to 12 months before I'll be up walking without crutches and back to work.
Good.
So from the trip to Sydney, I mean, the support's been amazing throughout the rugby league community, and you've got an event coming up soon as well that we can touch on, the comedy night.
Yeah.
How come we didn't get an invitation to be a stand-up act?
There's been a few people ask, actually. Dad's another one. He's a bit disappointed that he didn't get a start.
Yep.
He reckons he's a bit of a comedian at times, so don't worry, there's a long list of people that are disappointed.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I was actually nervous last week's show. I had Luke Holtz sitting there, and everyone said, "Oh, you looked a bit nervous." I can tell you I was, because you just don't know when it's going to come out with him, and he's so sharp-witted.
He's a monster of a guy.
And I thought, I'm going to say something here and he's going to attack me. That would have been one of your blokes for your stand-up too. And I'm guaranteeing you, the Denman blokes would have heard him out there on Sunday.
It was good, but look, it's good in one way, but I mean, it's probably these things will take their time, don't they, mate? And you've got a great support team around you. You know, I met Tegan today as well this afternoon.
No, she's been great. She's pretty much taken on the 24/7 care role. Because I do need care pretty much 24/7. Dad still hasn't gone back to work yet. Just so that Tegan does need a break. Dad's just around the corner to come around and give us the in whenever needed. Then I got like Nan and Pop live in town
Yeah.
too, so the whole family's pretty much in town, so it does make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plenty of mates coming around to visit and catch up.
Oh, it's non-stop. It's visitors from 9 o'clock in the morning to 6, 7 o'clock at night.
So
So
one of those ticket machines at
Yeah,
the
but
deli.
are they bringing the beverages, or do you have to supply it to them?
no, I'm actually alcohol-free
Good.
for 6 weeks because I worried about because I was having seizures
Yes.
a couple of years ago.
Yes.
That was the first major head knock since
Yeah,
the seizure,
yeah.
so I'm actually 6 weeks alcohol-free just in case I don't have a
Well, that's-
seizure
yes.
in the
Yeah,
next
well,
6
Well, that's a good
weeks.
thing.
You'll be better off for it, mate. I've been off it for a while now, so it's
Yeah.
it's good. It doesn't do anything to the guts when you've got the soul.
Was too much sugar, Reggie.
You've been up me. You're like Kate Wolfgang. She's on to me all the time.
You should be doing the sugar-free stuff.
Oh, mate, with my life at the moment, I think the sugars are actually a good thing. But Jackson, what night and how can people get tickets for your stand-up comedy?
Yeah, it's on the 10th of August, 6:30 start. Doors are going to open around 5:30. There's tickets available at the bottom pub at Denman or at my joint. Just send me a message. I made sure that I had some tickets to encourage people to come around and visit.
Yeah.
So I've got tickets to my place. It's $30 a ticket. That includes dinner or just like finger food like nibblies.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a full bar there as well. So
So that's Saturday too. So
yeah, it's a Saturday night.
the Denman boys do they play on the Saturday or the Sunday? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it is a Saturday.
It's a
I'm pretty
Saturday
sure they looked
game.
into that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I think we might go along to that.
Oh, I'll be there.
Matt Kenny's actually phoned me.
Definitely, I'll be there.
So we might get along to that and,
Yep.
and have a bit of a laugh. And like I said, if you need, Matt Kenny and him, a few beers and you won't have to pay him any extra.
Well, I'm off the drink too, Rich.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, look,
Oh, look at you guys.
Mate.
Hey, are you off the drink?
I've got nothing better to do.
a 6-pack lasts me 2 months, mate.
Oh, really?
No, I'm not a big drinker, Rich.
No, I'm not. I'm off them as well. But Bailey, I did say to you before the show, poor Benko's the only really fit one here on the couch.
Yep.
Mate, we're all going through physio. Benko, mate,
I don't know what to say.
I'm not going to put the
But
that's on the commentary.
I am the eldest.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
So, you know, we've got to take that into account because I get told every day at work by Bailey Carter
Yeah.
that I'm the pensioner of the crew.
Well, I did actually call in there, and Bailey Carter, I asked him where you were, and he said out the back blood.
Yeah, he's always on me about getting a seniors card. So I
He's only after you for the Maccas. That's what
Yeah.
Bailey's after.
Well, I watched him. There was a Facebook page last night where the Rams put on Facebook, and I seen Kane Cubillo bash him a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I give it to him today about getting belted by young Kane.
Yeah, no, it's tell you what, it's Old Boys Day down there too this week.
It is,
Muswellbrook.
yes, it is.
So it's going to be a big weekend, and no, without a doubt, an Old Boys weekend last weekend at Singleton.
Oh, massive!
You guys were there.
Oh goodness!
Bailey, take us through it. Like, I mean, he's the lead commentator. How was it with the scenery, the vibe down there in the crowd?
Oh, well, you could, as soon as you were there, you could tell Singo were there to play footy, you know, like, Denman sort of really didn't show up with a winning attitude, you know, so, and it doesn't help when it's Singo's Old Boys Day too, but like all the Old Boys Day, they were chirpy, as me and Benko were up probably a couple of metres away and we could still hear them chirping down there, and even a couple of them on the grandstand as well.
Even through the headphones, because they're noise-cancelling headphones.
Yeah, they packed out the balcony, didn't they?
Yeah.
Right next to us, and a few. Schulte was there.
Oh, yeah, he said he wanted the day off.
Schulte was out of control.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just joking. He was good because he'd come and yarn to us before the A grade started, the first grade started. So it was good to see a lot of the boys there.
We only had the two microphones, and on the way down, the wife dropped Mitchell down. We were doing a telephone thing, and he goes, "Oh look, if you need me." And I'm thinking, I didn't pack a third mic. I should have packed his third mic. But by the sounds of it, he enjoyed it.
You probably picked him up anyway. But look, it was a tough day for Denman, and the score reflects that. That's exactly what happened. And I think I spoke to you that night on Sunday night. I come here and dropped the gear off, and I was really
to the studio.
I was frustrated, but I was really disappointed. Because I think 3 juniors backed up from an hour and a half earlier, didn't they, Bay? Yeah. And there was 7 Reggies, reserve graders from the Saturday that backed up against the Rams on the Saturday out at Merriwall. Yeah. And there was only 5 starting first graders that were fresh, that could make it. So they only had 15 players. And look, I think at the start of the game we were all expecting a large scoreline, and outside of Ethan Edwards that I can just recall, Singleton's side were nearly top notch, weren't they, Bay? I'm not sure who else was out other than maybe Ethan Edwards. I think Schultz did touch on a couple of others, but that was a very, very good Singleton first grade side. And two things: hats off to all the young boys that backed up for the Denman Devils.
I know what that's like. But
And like I actually made a comment to a few people that would have been very easy for them young boys to say no. It would have been easy for the three juniors, the parents of the juniors, to say, no, stuff it. They've already played an hour and a half ago. No, they're not having a game.
Yeah.
And to their credit, they backed up and, look, they dug deep and they did their best. They did their best despite a massive scoreline. And some of those young boys probably have never experienced a scoreline like that. But
it's character building. And
it is. But just while I'm saying that, Frank Paul had another great game. Frank Paul was outstanding, wasn't he, babe? How small. He's carrying the ball around like a grape in his hand, feeding him. You thought he was playing basketball.
Yeah.
He was overhead like an alley-oop over the top. He was flick passing out of the back of the hand, wasn't he, babe? Yeah. It was quite incredible. And, a lot of the players for Singleton had a free rein. James Bradley, Jai Bailey may have found his spot at fullback because he's chiming into that back line, feeding him like James Tedesco, mate, the way he was running.
Well, I was going to say, the one that reminds me of James Tedesco is young Will Newenhouse.
Well, Will was outstanding from dummy half. Him and Brody Rinkin, the super sub, came on and scored 5 tries, didn't he?
I was going to ask Bay about that.
Feeding him. He was just dynamic around the ruck. Every time he got the ball, he just, the defence was just in 6s and 7s. But it was an outstanding performance from Singleton. However, this week against Aberdeen, I think this will be more of an indication of what we can expect for the semi-finals.
Oh, most definitely. To touch on the first grade game up there, 32-26, Aberdeen were defeated by the Scone side, and they're just clinical. They just went through their motions, but it was that one game that I touched on last week where the drop of the ball didn't go Scone's way. The bounce, the penalty count was 5-4 in the second half to Aberdeen, so Scone were behind, and they still come away. There was one or two referee, touch judge, adjudicating, officiating calls there that could have gone either way. When you see it on the video and everyone stops, Tim Smith picks up a ball and just keeps running, scores a try, to Hoogs' credit, Hoogs doesn't go off and won't attack a referee, or I've always credited him as being one of the best to deal with the referee. He was blowing up a few, and there was a few 50-50s, but I've said Scone from the start of the season, so I try and find the positives in the other sides. But Tom Pickerskill, his first game in first grade for Scone, he played really well. You got the likes of Jakey Collison coming off the bench causing damage. I did see, and I think it was very humorous, JJ Apthorpe made a slight error. He was not to his own fault either. He palmed off on his left arm. I can't do it, but he palmed off with his left arm. He had the ball under his right arm, and Prince Campbell come over and stripped the ball off one-on-one, rolled with him, and it was near a clip up the head if you watch it on the video from Clydesdale. And JJ's one of the most experienced. He couldn't have done anything about that. When you get blindsided and that one-on-one strip, Andrew Nichols used to be a bloody legend at doing those type of things. So. But they were on a roll. It just wasn't their day, Scone. We had Pete Holland on the sideline doing the commentary, going backwards and forwards and answering questions. But he said, "Do you want me to try and get a word out of the Scone bench?" And I said, I'm not paying your insurance. I don't want you to go anywhere near Aaron Watts at the moment."
Watts, he would have been blown.
32-26, and it's a fair indication. They're heads and shoulders. They have been throughout the competition, but I think the competition now. If you'd asked me 5 weeks ago, I'd said Scone, as I've said all year. Yeah. But Singleton full strength, Aberdeen full strength now. Shane Hasselman still to come back into that side. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to add a new dimension. Marcus Marsh. Every time that there just looked to be a lack of go forward, who'd be the person? Marcus Marsh would be nearly standing there, and then he'd just trudge it forward. And that's what I mean. Liam Foran did his typical inspiring runs as a front rower to try and surge it on. and then there just wasn't that follow. I'll be honest. I said they were flat.
Mm-hmm.
There was no second phase play, and when it was good. But there was no numbers, there was no bodies in motion. That's where Scone is clinical above the rest. They've got bodies in motion each side of the ruck, and it gives Adam Clydesdale a chance to jump and do whatever he wants. Aberdeen, it's just one-dimensional. You can see which way they're going at the moment, especially when they start to fatigue. So,
well, this weekend's a big weekend, Reg.
Singleton versus Aberdeen.
That game at Aberdeen is going to be an absolute cracker.
Well, it's like I said, you look at the points ladder when we get to that, but all Singleton have to do is knock off Aberdeen twice more, and Aberdeen's not within that shot of the major semi. So it's accelerated time for all clubs. Denman, unfortunately, have been decimated, as I use the word, with injury. Mm-hmm. Not only yourself, Adam Gretsch with the broken jaw. Yeah. Who else is out? You've got a list of them.
Josh Scrimger, Dylan Thorne, Logan Ellis, Dan Ellis.
What did Dylan Thorne do?
Geordie Mulheron. Dylan Thorne has got apparently, I think it's his ring finger on his ring finger. I think the joint here, he's got some nerve damage in one of the ends of the joint. But anyway, the kids do what they can.
I've got some electrical tape up there that'll fix that to get him back on the field.
Well, I've got elastoplast if he needs it. But anyway,
it's a finger.
So. Anyway, and Andrew Pritchard should be back this week. So as far as I know, the only change perhaps this weekend may be Andrew Pritchard back. We had an AP, but I think they had an APB out on Reynard. So no one can get in touch with Reynard.
What about Paula Dinavalou?
I think Paula Dinavalou may have gone back to Queensland.
Oh, really?
He's headed to Queensland for work. So
that's unfortunate.
Don't think
it's a big loss.
Don't think that's going to happen.
But you did tell me in reserve grade there was another player, a fella of Paul, John Paul played centre on the weekend in first grade.
First grade,
right? Yeah.
Did he play on Saturday as well?
Yeah, he would have.
Yep.
Yeah.
He played in the centres, and to be quite honest, I hadn't seen John Paul play before.
Yep.
He didn't go too bad actually, but most of the damage was done up the middle because there was just
Rinkin, Watson, Frank Paul, Tom Johnson, and
2J went off injured at some point during that game as well. And it was 2J. Congratulations to Tommy. It was his 50th game on the weekend.
And there's going to be plenty more of them out of him.
Yeah,
I reckon he's got another 100 games in him. Have you played rep with him?
No. No, he's only 23, I think. 22, 23.
How old are you?
9.
How old do you think he is?
Well, I thought he was 21.
I played rep with him.
You played rep with him? I thought you were 21. There you go. You wish your life away.
He looks it, doesn't he?
You look it. We actually have to reuse the reverse aging app on Benko for the show.
Why would you want to put age on me when I'm already close?
That's what I said. No, we have to use the reverse.
I'm already at the retirement age, you idiot.
Didn't you mention before the show that you're thinking about putting the boots back on?
I would have last week if I didn't have 2 new knees last 12 months ago. I tell you what, I would have put the boots back on and played in 10-minute slots last week, Jackson. I would have done something.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's actually surprised me that Jay Shepardson didn't whack the boots on.
He wanted to. Shep wanted to put the boots on last week, mate, and I'm telling you,
he's still got it.
Yeah, but anyway,
he's still got it. But
so reserve grade.
Reserve grade, yeah. Merriwar 50 over Greta Brankston 0. Now they started the team game with 13 players. The Greta Brankston boys. Word on the street had that a few of them had a couple of beverages watching the Musselbrook Denman game. Look, they knew they were in a tough position going out there, and I don't blame them. They've stuck together. They ended up with 9 by the end of the game, but 50-0. I just take my hat off to, like I said, Denman's going through a bit of a stage at the moment. Greta Brankston, especially in reserve grade, they played with 9 up there at Aberdeen and did the best they can. My hat goes off to those boys. I do. Been there, done that, and you can only just keep slogging away at it and pushing towards next year. Musselbrook 40 defeated Denman 12. The captain coach has gone, and then you stepped into the captain coach position. So,
is it Denman didn't have a full squad either out there?
No, they had 16. I think they went away with. Just work commitments, I think most of them, besides myself. But yeah, Marshall just too good.
And I believe Liam Dunn made a return, and we saw Liam have that neck injury. Positive signs to see him back out running around, and I mean, yourself going through a neck injury and trying to get the rehabilitation happening. I guess that's a good sign for Liam to be back up and running, but I wouldn't myself risk it.
Yeah, someone told me it was because he wants to try and get his 150th, but I'm sure he celebrated his 150th last year, didn't he?
Well, I thought there was something that...
That's why I was a little bit confused, but anyway.
Oh, I thought there was, but, well, maybe it's this Old Boys weekend. Maybe that's what he's trying to...
Old Boys Day.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Old Boys Day, which will be a big day at Muswellbrook. But Scone 22 defeated Aberdeen 12. That was a close match. Very, very solid match, as you could expect from both the sides. Scone just too classy in the end. Aberdeen, it was a little bit of discipline again, which I've always touched on. But Singleton 30 defeated Murrundi 4, which kind of shocked me when I saw that score.
Yeah, well, we were down there. We watched that. We watched the best part of that game, and Singleton were pretty strong. Murrundi tried again, but Christian Kirby, the big fella in reserve grade, he was outstanding again, and Singleton. They're currently third or fourth, because I'm led to believe Aberdeen are on 15 points in reserve grade.
Yeah,
so there's a little bit of an anomaly there.
That ladder should have been fixed up, but there is an error. Look, we can only go on what we've produced.
No, that's cool.
That's whatever the group gives out. That's what we go by.
So look, I Singleton might be on, third or fourth.
They're fourth.
They're fourth at the moment.
Yeah.
So they're fourth. 2 points in front of the Rams.
Yeah.
And this weekend it's going to be an absolute rocket of a game at Olympic Park between the Rams and Singleton Reserve. I don't know, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, and I believe Christian Kirby with shift work will be out for that game. So Muswellbrook in the under-18s 30 defeated Aberdeen 24. I tell you what, it was one of them games, the boys were setting up the equipment, so I was sort of just overseeing what was going on. Every time I looked up, the score seemed to go from one side to the other. One of the positives that come out of this, and I've got to say it, is one of the Aberdeen people during the week have said to me, and this comes from a senior person within there, Rod Bowd refereed the match. And they said it was, they can't believe it. And I know people get a bit critical of referees, but that was the best ref under 18s game this year, that he was consistent and it would just let flow. Like that was typical old school 18, and he's always been good with the under 18s.
Well, he refereed Saturday. He refereed the Rams and Denman on Saturday.
Yeah, right, okay.
Bowd he did. So
that's full credit.
Put in a big effort.
But yeah, no, Rod Bowd, I mean, I've played along with him, played when he was refereeing, and we did the show here 8 years ago together. Yeah. But, you know, we've always been one to put shit on each other, but to Rod, full credit, because from a losing side to turn around and say, that was one of the best refereed games.
Okay.
Take my hat off to him. But Singleton 36 defeated Denman 6. As you said, some of them players turned around from that. And
I think Denman only had 12 players in juniors.
And look, they did it. They did it against Singleton with 12 out. Denman a few months ago.
Yeah,
and came close to winning.
Did too.
Came close to winning.
They did too.
So
ladies league tag, you want me to run through it?
Yeah.
Muswellbrook 38 defeated Denman 2, Scone 18 defeated Aberdeen 0, and Murrundi, the girls who were firing up there, beat Singleton 6. So the Murrundi girls, they fancy their chances, you know.
I don't write them off.
No way.
No, I go Gracie Gallen, Missy Peters, all the likes.
Kimberly Brown.
Kimberly, go through all the players all the time. That just, you know, they're a great side across the paddock. I don't write them off. I think that really they'll be there come the end.
Yeah.
In some capacity, whether it's the finals or the grand final, but preliminary final, definitely they'll. I can't see. Yeah, they'll be there. I just looked at the ladder. But Scone versus Aberdeen was 18-0 final score. It was 12-0 at half time. We're talking about Scone full strength against Aberdeen. Remember, the girls only had their first win a few weeks ago before the washout, and they had the bye washout, and they've come back. And 12-0 against Scone outfit. That's a gutsy effort.
Did Kelsey French play for Aberdeen?
Again, one of the best outstanding players they set for the side. So.
Well, she Bailey and I've seen her grow up since she was a little girl playing touch football. Bailey's played against her at touch football.
I thought you were going to say ladies league tag.
No, in touch football, she's an outstanding touch footballer, and the game is very roughly based around the two
same moves.
Great combination, exactly. So she would have made a big difference to that Aberdeen side.
What's your thoughts on Kelsey? You've seen her play?
I played mixed touch with her for the last 3 years, and we've won the A grade comp there 3 years in a row, and she helps a lot for the girls' side of things in mixed touch. Like, you get no offence to the girls in mixed touch, but it's usually the blokes doing all the stuff. But she plays as one of the guys in the mixed touch team, so she'd be a big difference.
She's been they've said that. They've said since she's turned up, it's sort of changed a bit of the dynamics, and maybe that's only the one person key thing that they needed was someone like that, Sophie Casson, to come into that side to steer them around. Let's look at this weekend's games, boys. The Ladies League on Saturday. Muswellbrook have got the 3 games at home. Muswellbrook take on Singleton at 1 p.m. in the Ladies League tag. Muswellbrook take on Singleton in reserve grade in under 18s at 2 p.m. 3:10 it's Muswellbrook versus Singleton. Murundai have the 2 games at home against Aberdeen up at there at the foot of the mountain from 1 o'clock and 3:10. I'm guessing that may be 2 o'clock.
Mate,
what's your thoughts?
Well, mate, seriously, Olympic Park is going to be, on Old Boys Day, 3 absolutely brilliant games, and they are so crucial if you look at the ladder. In the Ladies League tag, it'll be 3rd playing 4th. 5th playing 4th playing 5th. So that, and there's only 1 point difference.
Yeah.
Muswellbrook's only in front by 1 point. In the 18s, first are playing 2nd, so this will be a great test for the Rams boys to see how close, or if they can knock off the undefeated Singleton boys in reserve grade. And in juniors, in reserve grade, how crucial is this game? Fair dinkum. Muswellbrook are on 12, only 2 points out of the semi-finals at this stage, 2 points behind Singleton. So
I think
this is going to be a great day down there.
I think for a motivational, they need to win this game.
Oh,
Bailey, you've been around most of them boys that played juniors.
Especially on Old Boys Day too. I remember playing Old Boys Day last year, and it was a big day. Felt special in here running out on Old Boys Day, especially. You hear all them drunken idiots on the other side of the field giving it to the other team. But
one's probably the old man.
Yeah, probably. No, you always lift a gear on Old Boys Day, and I remember being a ball boy as well down there all the time, and you'd always love running up and down the sideline where the old boys were, because you just hear them giving it to the other team. And Muswellbrook should lift a gear, I reckon, especially against Singleton as well.
Well, I do remember years ago, and I always go back to it, Denman were undefeated there at one stage, and they played Muswellbrook on Old Boys Day, and Muswellbrook defeated them. The Denman side. They do seem to lift a notch, but I guess it's every club with Old Boys Day seems to put that pride on. And
it seems to lift every team. I think it's not just Muswellbrook. Like, I know Denman seem to lift a lot more when it's Old Boys Day. Yeah. And I know I've played at Singleton a couple of times for their old boy in there. It's like playing a completely different side.
It's like a cauldron down there, though. Like that noise that comes out from that beer town at Singleton.
Well, mate, I think one of the directions from the last week was to the Denman boys is that it's going to be there was 2 things. It's going to be a frustrating day. We know. Just do your best. The second thing is don't react to any comments from an old boys tent.
Yeah.
And I reckon with 3 games so crucial this weekend at Olympic Park, those old boys down there on the far side of the field, if one Singleton bloke just turns around and gives it to them, they will zero in, and then you're putting pressure on yourself. So
they usually set up on the centre of the field there.
Yeah, on the cricket pitch.
Do you move them tent? Do you do it for the first half, second half? Go down to when Muswellbrook's attacking their line to really.
There's usually enough blokes there to cover 20 to 20.
Yeah.
So
the funniest bloke is Scott Collins. If he's there, hands down, he's one of the funniest blokes that I've ever met when it comes to giving. He comes out with he's quicker than Luke Holmes.
Yeah, but it also depends on how much is imbibed.
But okay. Righto.
How much liquid? How much
if
liquid
that's the case, you hold the funnel and I'll tip the beer in.
So It'll play a big part. Old Boys Day at Muswellbrook today on Saturday.
Yeah.
It'll play a massive part in those 3 games because it is so crucial with 4 weeks to go before the semis.
Murrundi.
Really crucial day.
Murrundi's lost points due to the competition, due to the breaches. Ryan Holman, of course, sustaining the injury.
Yeah.
They've got a great side up there. Rando, Corey Holman, Squirt still running around.
Yeah.
Aberdeen boys, I think they're going to be up for a fair task as well on Saturday.
Oh, no question. That'll be a gun game.
I look at the ladies' league tag, and as I said, Singleton, Aberdeen against Scone so tight. Murrundi at their strength. I wouldn't. It's going to be a coin toss.
Oh yeah.
If you're up that end of the valley, dead set, get up there to Murrundi because that's going to be a fantastic day. 2 great games of football.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to go Murrundi at home in the ladies, but I'm going to go Aberdeen in reserve grade. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Murrundi, without Ryan, I think Ryan's a big loss from Murrundi. Sean Millwood seems to steer Aberdeen around in reserve grade. I think Aberdeen will just get over it. It'll be close, but I think.
Yeah.
Well, with the players back in first grade, it frees up a few players to go back to Reggie's.
Yeah.
And a few of the boys over the last 4 to 6 weeks have had A-grade experience in the Aberdeen reserve grade side.
Yeah.
So that'll help them immensely coming back. So, look, I think Aberdeen will win that reserve grade clash.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen much of the 2 teams play. I've seen Murrundi versus Singleton, and they were in it for most of the game, but then Singleton sort of just got away with the end. I think a few of Murrundi boys might be a bit on the unfit side of things, but as Jacko said, Shawnee Millwood and that Aberdeen side, they'll be too strong.
Dave Manane.
You just brought up one bloke there. Now, he had the ride for Reggie last week, and that was fantastic. He didn't play on the weekend. That's another thing with the Scone reserve grade win. Sean Millwood was one of the personalities I was looking for.
Yeah.
He was at a golf tournament, so didn't play in that game on the weekend. But Dave Manane backed up for first grade and came in the last 10 minutes. And I think that they need to use that personality of Dave come Shawnee Millwood.
Sean offers so much on the field. He can sniff out a try. He can sniff out a gap to pick somebody else. He's got a great passing game, Shawnee Millwood. He's got a great passing game. And he's always in your ear.
Yeah.
He's always in your ear. And if you're kidding yourself if it doesn't have an effect on you as a defender.
I think he's got
or an attacker. Either way, he's good for the game and he's good for his team. And a lot of the game revolves around Sean.
He's like a praying mantis, though. Let's face it. He's got the arms up in the air most of the game to the referee, like he's walking around whether he's got the ball or not.
He's like Jeff Tuvey.
Yeah. You can do it like that. Sunday, Ladies League tag. Of course, Scone have the bye this weekend, but Denman v Merriwar at 12:30 in the Ladies League tag, and in reserve grade at 1:30 at Denman. And first grade, of course, Denman versus Scone in the first grade match. Look, I think that the ladies, I'm going to have to go against your home team. I'm sorry, in this round, I think Merriwar and the ladies, look,
they'll be too strong. There's no question they'll be too strong. But you know what? When we get out there, we might just get out there. Generally, when I've been out there, I get there towards the end of the ladies' game. You know what? Each girl comes off with a smile on her face.
Yeah.
They know they haven't got the greatest side, but they are absolutely, they love being out there, don't they, Jacko?
Yeah, they do.
They really enjoy the moment of playing out there in a competition. They come off, they help out in the canteen, and you know what, Reggie? They're always back at the bottom pub.
Oh, look,
for the presentation after the game. They're down there, and congrats to the girls.
And you look, Aberdeen was in the same boat. That's what I said. They were getting smashed, and they always come off with that smile. That's what I mean. That's what it's about. You see so many 18s and that to take it so personally with the big personalities and passion. But I think Merriwar in reserve grade, they're up there. So look, I think this will put them in a good position to stay.
Full strength, Merriwar, I think will be the team to beat in reserve grade.
Yeah.
Earlier on, in the middle of the year, they had a few players out, like Brad Ellis and Nathan Barry missed a couple of games there.
Yeah.
But full strength, I think Merriwar will be the team to beat.
What's doing with Ben Morgan's beard? Can I ask?
I haven't seen him actually.
He looks like he just come out of the mountain. I've never seen Ben like it. I'm a big Ben and Morgan fan, he knows that, but it's all over the shop.
Yeah.
And in first grade, of course, Scone versus Denman.
3 o'clock. Look, the thing about this game is Reggie, is that I don't think we'll know the starting lineup in the first grade game until we find out what the hell happens in reserve grade.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. There's been a lot of conversation this week about what sort of side Denman will put out there. At present, there's probably... last week there was up to 7 players out. 8 players out of their normal first grade side. So there was only 5 regulars, 5 fresh players last week. I believe Pritchard's back this week.
But you've got Pritch, Nathan Barry, the likes of them, still steering it forward, Tommy Mann, Jack Mann.
But what I'm saying is Nathan and Jamie Carter, are they playing reserve grade, Jacko, do you know?
No, I don't think so.
So they're going to be fresh. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
Because, look, to their credit, Nathan Barry and Jamie, they went exceptionally well last week, just running that ball up and hitting that ball up. And I know after the game, Shep and Gretchen were very, very proud of their 2 front rowers that kicked that game off last week, weren't they, Bay? And they went exceptionally well, you know. So it is what it is, and I think the Denman side, they won't know what their first grade side. Gretchen will be there, and he'll be just hoping that everyone in Denman in the reserve grade game gets through the match to try and back up for the first grade. That's the way that will pan out.
Yeah, look,
it's unfortunate, mate.
I don't know what Scone will do. Will Scone say we're going to go full strength, or are they going to rest a couple of players in hope that Denman aren't full strength? You know, you don't know. I know what he won his best team on the field at the time, but Gary McKean played really well at 5'8" last weekend. But Denman, I still look at it and I think Pritchard, the likes of those guys going forward, with your, Jacob Ellis has been playing some good football. I still don't say he's a 5'8", but he's been filling the role and he's been doing a good job. Dan Ellis back?
No.
No.
I don't be surprised if Dan's out for the season. I don't know if his report from his doctors for his shoulder has been great. So that's a question mark. Well, last week Zachy Webb played fullback, and the 2 juniors, Andy Parks and Jai Sinclair, played on the wings after their junior game. So look,
I think that's safe putting Zach Webb back there though.
No, Webby was outstanding last week, mate, and I say that in all sincerity. I thought the five first graders that have played most of the year, including Baz and Jamie Carter at front row, and they did their best, and it was very hard because I don't think they had one trainer run last week. They might have had a little bit of a get together last Thursday, but Gretchy didn't know his side till Sunday at 1 o'clock. I don't think Gretchy knew his side. So last Sunday. So it is what it is, and.
What do you feel if your car's playing 5'8"? He's obviously felt his way. He's played there in juniors a lot, but for me, he's more of an outside centre. He's a finisher.
Yeah, well, if he's at 5'8", he's obviously played centre and wing a couple of years at Musbrook there, and he's a runner of the ball. He likes that early ball, and he just needs to run. And especially at 5'8", like a couple of times you see him at scrums and that, and he's the first receiver off a scrum. Yeah. Instead of passing, he just needs to run sideways and try and get him around the edges, because
he's got speed.
As soon as he runs sideways and then comes across, like centres and wingers don't know what to do, especially with his pace.
Oh, he's got too much. He's very,
I just think he's lacking a bit of confidence running the ball. But as I said,
depends on what they get, mate. It could very well. I'm not saying it, but it could be an upset, depending on the attitude that they go in there with, and the boys from Denman, what they get. If they get a couple back, I've got a Elastoplast for Dylan. If they can get him back.
Back to Jacob. Right now, Jacob's playing that 5'8" role. He does play first receiver either left or right. I spoke to Jacob. I'd love to see him swoop around left or right because he's got the speed to do it. And there's no question, regardless of who's playing, if Jacob is swooping around left or right, as soon as Jacob touches the ball, the defence is in. He's got the defence on their toes because he's such a dynamic player. There's no question about that. So. Ideally, he'd probably like to be a little bit wider, but I don't think I don't think he's unhappy getting his hands on the ball as much as he is at the moment. It's a whole new dimension for Jake.
I think he likes scoring tries more than anything.
There's no question. Yeah, they all do. But the fact of the matter is that right now there's no one else to play.
Yeah.
There's no one else to play 5'8". So we haven't got that luxury right now, the Denman side. So
I just don't think he realises how good of a football player he is and how much of a threat he would be running into the line with a bit more confidence. I know if I was a defender and I seen Jacob running at me, like zigzagging everywhere, I would go, what's going on here?
And that's where he's carved up a few teams too, taking on that line. So
he has.
Look, I'm going to ask you straight up before we go towards the end of the show. You've watched plenty of first grade, we all have. Who's your tip for player of the season so far? Player of the year? I'm going to go with you first.
Clydesdale will have to be up there.
Yep.
He's pretty handy. Playing makes it a bit harder to watch, but I know every time I've played Scone that Clydesdale has definitely been the pick for me. Just the way he controls the game, whether he's at hooker or 5'8".
Yep.
He's always there, he's always in the picture, doesn't matter where the ball is on the field, Clydesdale is always there leading the Scone pack around.
Yeah, look, I totally agree. I know yours is forward at the moment.
I reckon he's a lay down there.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I think he's a dead set. If he doesn't run in the top 3 in the Player of the Year points, then I'll have a dig at the referees big time because it'll be an absolute travesty. And there's 4 games to go.
Yeah.
There's 4 games to go. If Liam Forum is not in the top 3 even now in the Player of the Year points, well, 2 things. I'm a piss poor judge,
and you're going to get up and walk out of there.
And the referees need to have a long hard look at themselves.
What about yourself?
Well, I haven't seen Scone play this year, but obviously Jacko said Clydesdale, and obviously everyone knows who he is, and he has that reputation that he is a good footballer. And then Scone's got like a stacked side. They got Apthorpe, Topless.
What was that?
Back. Stacked side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear.
But they've got class all around. But then obviously I have to go with Benko. I reckon Foz, he has to be.
I'm going to throw a curveball out there because I think if the referees are watching the game, Radford for me.
When don't they watch it?
Radford.
Yeah, righto.
Hands down has the and it wouldn't be surprising having seen what we've seen with the last year's winning of the Player of the Year Cup. If Radford's not already there.
Yeah, but the thing is, Reggie, this, and I said it last week when Holtzy and Loon were here. It might have been the week before. When you've got a side like Scone, they're a solid from 1 to 13. It is very difficult to pinpoint an exact champion in that because they're winning by, up until last weekend, they've had some blowouts. So everyone's in the money, so to speak. There's Hayden Titus, Watson. You've got Ritter, you've got Apthorpe, you've got Wixie, Collison, you've got the whole deal. So when it comes to talking, okay, you see it in the NRL and you see the Dally M points. If the judges don't know who to pick, who do they go to? They go to the named player because they're all. Sometimes I doubt whether the Dally M judges even look at the game half the time because you see players with the stats, their hit-ups, their tackles. The forwards seem to get shunted aside and they go for the named player.
It was like last year, the Daily M. How good did the Warriors go? And
that's right.
Roger probably got 1 point or 2 points every game. That's how he got
because he stood out in a side. Yeah. And I'm not saying Foz is the only player from Aberdeen. Right now, Hoogs has been out injured. Realistically, and Hamish has had a number of games.
Like Prince Campbell.
Yeah. So there's 2 players from Aberdeen. Tyler, Prince Campbell, and Foz.
Marcus Marsh.
But Marcus has had his fair share of games out. I don't think Liam Forum's missed a game. So that's why I think right now Foz would have to be in the top 3 running.
Oh, I'm not going to argue. I just say I think we've nailed it. I think if we got the sheet right now, if in the top 5 wasn't those 3 names,
we've got 4 weeks before the semis, and then we'll have presentation night, Group 21 presentation. We all might be flogged. We might be someone jumping out of the box.
He might quit his drinking there. Start sleeping.
I'll be on the piss big time if he's not running the first three. I'll give you the tip.
What are you going to do if it comes and then the round one and there's no lead for him? He's going to say, pour me scotch and dry. He's right away. No, don't actually back off the dry, just the scotch.
The referees want to go. I hope they're sitting far away from us. Let me give you the tip.
Anyway.
Did we pick a winner in the Aberdeen Singo game in first grade?
No, we didn't. 2 p.m. Aberdeen versus Singo up there. Aberdeen Scone in the under 18s as well. We didn't go through those games. And Scone versus Greta Brankston at Aberdeen too. Sorry, so that's going to be another bus trip for them.
Well, the important thing is that junior game is going to be an absolute riot. It's another game that can decide, minor semi-final spot. I mean, both teams. Well, put it this way: if Aberdeen win, they're only a point behind Muswellbrook.
Yep.
If Muswellbrook get rolled by Singo.
Yeah.
For a major semi-final spot. So really crucial game for the under-18 game at Aberdeen versus Scone.
I'm sorry I missed that before, but Scone versus Greta Brankston, I think Scone, of course, is going to be too strong, but the Greta Brankston boys keep slugging away at it. I think he's doing a fantastic job. Aberdeen and Singo in first grade.
What a great game that's going to be.
Yeah, it'll be the top of the table clash, I think, there.
Yeah.
To see who goes against Scone, I think. I reckon it'll be out of them to see who goes against Scone come finals time.
What are you tipping?
I think Singo full strength.
Mm-hmm.
If they are going to be full strength, depending on work and commitments and whatever. But yeah, I think Singo will get them if they're full strength.
They have had a win over them this year, haven't they?
Yeah.
Singo have beaten Aberdeen once this year, and my goodness, I would have loved to have seen the Aberdeen side last week.
They played really, really well.
Yeah.
And the side on paper was great, but
I reckon
it wasn't a polished performance by any means.
I reckon
it was
Jai
about
Bailey,
60%.
Jai Bailey will have these guys absolutely raring to go this Sunday.
It all depends. Like I said last week, that was not a polished performance by Aberdeen.
They're little
by either side.
Yeah.
But with Foran at the moment, as you've just chirped and chirped about it. You didn't do it last week when he was here.
Well, you can't talk about a bloke while he's sitting there.
I'm going to back the Tigers on that one. I think that it's going to be enough for me saying that it's going to spur Singo on too, let me tell you. But Aberdeen, if Foran, and if Hasselman, the whispers are right, I think that... But I didn't get to see Singo last week at full strength for the first time.
What do you reckon, Bate?
Yeah, I'll go Aberdeen at home. I reckon, especially if their reserve grades playing against Murrundi on the Saturday, they might have a few key players. Denman, Shawnee Millwood might back up the next day. And if the Singo, Reggie's boys that are backing up against Muswellbrook, they'll be too sore and sorry, I reckon. So I reckon Aberdeen at home.
Okay, that's a really good point.
Let's fly through the table anyway. So first grade, Scones on 22, Aberdeen on 10, Singleton on 8, Denman on 4.
Merriwall reserve grade, they're leading on 20 points. Scone 19, Aberdeen 15, Singleton 14, we believe. Muswellbrook 12, Murrundi and Greta Brankston and Denman are all on 2 points.
You got the under 18s?
Yeah, the under 18s. Singleton are on top on 21 points. Muswellbrook's on 15, Aberdeen 12, Scone 11, and Denman 5.
Bay?
The league tag, Scone are on 22 points with Murrundi on 18 and Merriwall close third with 17, but they're one game ahead. So then Muswellbrook are on 10 points at 4, then Singo on 9, Aberdeen on 8 and Denman are on 2 points.
Boys, if I had to ask you to pick and I mean this is a really out there question, I think you've already said Ed Merriwall. Who would you tip as a grand final winning side in any of those grades at the moment?
A winning team?
Yeah. Go on. I want you to take a stab in the dark. This is just throw it out there, a punt.
A Scone Ladies League tag. There you go.
Righto. You're going safe.
I had my arse firmly on the fence, mate. Let me give you a tip.
What about yourself?
I reckon the Singleton under 18s team.
Yeah.
I reckon they're too strong for all the other 4 teams in the comp. I reckon.
You sticking with
Muswellbrook?
Merriwall?
Yeah, Merriwall reserve grade. I think they're a class above everyone else, especially full strength. They've only lost, I think, 3 games, and that was without their hooker and their lock and captain coach.
Good point.
What
about you?
You know what, I'm going to go Merriwall in the reserve grade as well. I think that they've got something good out there happening at the moment, and I just, if they stay fit, if they stay injury free, that's a good side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Righto, well that's it for us. Thank you very much, Bailey Ellis, and thanks for your commentary job. You're going to be out there with this lunatic again.
And Jacko.
I was going to say that. And Jacko.
I've been talking.
Debut.
Yeah.
How you going to go?
Oh, I should be right.
You're
Hopefully,
right?
yeah.
You're going to have to make sure that he keeps taking you the drinks, okay? You just stay put. We'll give you the computer and all the gear to look after.
We've got
and-
Kim and Kate will be out there.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be feeding us food all day. And we've got Jakey in the coffee bus next door.
Oh, Jake has done a fantastic
Unbelievable.
job. Out there at Denman, that coffee van has, and that's probably, I'm going to miss that.
Well, it's right next. It's parked about a metre away from us.
I know, I'll be at Aberdeen, but we've got the luxury, and I'll let me tell you right now, a heated box.
Oh, really?
A heated box up there at Aberdeen. It's been actually, it'll be myself, Marcus, and Joshy again. Pete Holland on the sideline. So unless Bomber comes back, I've asked him. I've messaged him, and yeah.
Oh, can I just take 30 seconds to thank all the ladies and the crews that have been in every canteen this year.
Every game that's helped us
I
out.
really want to thank them all because every time I go to the canteens, they've been tremendous, great help and always friendly, and I can't knock any of them. So
Yeah,
well,
we can't go anywhere without a smile and a kiss from the ladies in the canteen, can
well,
we?
maybe you, but
Oh,
I don't get that.
okay. I thought,
I get a carton of chips.
I haven't got a chips yet, I've got the kisses.
Got their eyes painted on.
Oh, that's awkward. Anyway, no, they do it.
You're doing something right anyway.
Yeah, no. Okay, you don't get a kiss. Not at all.
I don't want one, Reg. Hold on.
I'll send
Hold
Shep.
the phone.
I'll send Shep your way this weekend.
I'm good, thank you.
Rightio. Thanks for your time, big fella.
All good.
And, all good till next week. We'll see you on the couch.